Most people design their morning routine around convenience. A pastry from the cafe on the way to work, a sweetened latte, a bowl of sugary cereal, or a flavored yogurt grabbed from the fridge as you head out the door. These choices feel harmless enough in isolation, and the immediate experience often confirms that assumption. You eat, you feel a brief surge of energy, and you get on with your day. But what happens in the hours that follow tells a different and considerably less comfortable story. Registered dietitians who specialize in blood sugar management describe what unfolds after a high-sugar breakfast as a roller coaster. And once you understand the biology behind that description, the metaphor becomes hard to ignore. The sugar spike and subsequent crash that follows a poorly balanced breakfast is not just an abstract metabolic event. It produces real, felt consequences that affect how you think, how you feel, how hungry you become, and how well you function through the most productive hours of the morning. Understanding the mechanism, recognizing the symptoms, and knowing what to eat instead are three pieces of information that can meaningfully change how you experience your mornings. The biology of a blood sugar spike. When you eat a breakfast that is high in sugar and refined carbohydrates without meaningful amounts of protein, fiber, or healthy fat, the sugar from that food enters the bloodstream rapidly. There is nothing in the meal to slow the absorption process down, so glucose floods the bloodstream quickly, causing blood sugar levels to rise sharply. The pancreas responds to this rise by releasing insulin, the hormone responsible for clearing glucose out of the bloodstream and moving it into cells where it can be used for energy. The problem is that the size of the insulin response is calibrated to the size of the blood sugar rise. A large, rapid spike in blood sugar triggers a large, rapid insulin release. And when a large amount of insulin hits a bloodstream that is already beginning to come down from its peak, the result can be a drop in blood sugar that goes too far in the other direction. Dietitian Andrea Miller explains that some people actually release too much insulin after a high-sugar meal, and their body overcompensates, causing blood glucose to drop too low. This condition is called reactive hypoglycemia, and it is more common than most people realize. It is the biological explanation for why eating a sugary breakfast can paradoxically leave you feeling hungrier, more tired, and less mentally sharp than if you had not eaten at all. Miller is also careful to note that a rise in blood sugar after eating is a completely normal physiological event. The issue is not the rise itself, but the magnitude and speed of the rise and the steepness of the drop that follows it. A meal that causes a moderate, gradual rise in blood sugar, followed by a gradual, stable return to baseline, is metabolically very different from one that causes a sharp spike and an equally sharp drop. What the crash actually feels like. The symptoms that follow a blood sugar crash vary from person to person, and some individuals with healthy blood sugar regulation may not notice significant effects from an occasional sugary breakfast. But for many people, the consequences are both real and recognizable once they know what to look for. Dietitian Amy Hewell describes the typical post-crash experience as a combination of hunger, fatigue, irritability, and reduced mental sharpness. The hunger that returns an hour or two after a sugary breakfast is often stronger than ordinary hunger because the body interprets the blood sugar drop as a signal that it needs more fuel, and the fastest fuel available is more sugar. This is the vicious cycle that Miller references. The crash from the sugary breakfast creates cravings for more sugar, and those cravings, if acted on, produce another spike and another crash in a pattern that can repeat throughout the day. The cognitive effects of this cycle deserve particular attention, given that mornings are typically when most people do their most demanding mental work. Blood sugar instability affects concentration, working memory, and the ability to sustain focus, which means a breakfast that causes a sharp spike and crash is actively working against cognitive performance during the hours when that performance matters most. Building a breakfast that keeps blood sugar stable. The solution is not to skip breakfast or to eliminate all carbohydrates from the morning meal. It is to build a breakfast that includes the three nutritional components that slow glucose absorption and prevent the sharp spikes that lead to crashes: protein, fiber, and healthy fat. Protein slows the rate at which glucose enters the bloodstream by slowing overall digestion. It also contributes to satiety in ways that refined carbohydrates do not, which means a protein-containing breakfast keeps you full for longer and reduces the likelihood of hunger and cravings mid-morning. Fiber works through a similar mechanism, slowing carbohydrate digestion and reducing the speed and magnitude of the blood sugar rise that follows a meal. Healthy fats further slow digestion and contribute to sustained energy without the blood sugar volatility associated with refined carbohydrates. Huel's practical breakfast suggestions reflect these principles. A Greek yogurt parfait with berries and seeds combines protein from the yogurt, fiber from the berries and seeds, and healthy fat from the seeds into a meal that digests slowly and supports stable blood sugar. A vegetable omelet with whole grain toast delivers protein from the eggs, fiber from the vegetables and whole grain, and fat from cooking the omelet. Miller's suggestion of pairing oatmeal with plain Greek yogurt or protein powder addresses the specific issue with oatmeal as a standalone breakfast. Plain oats are a reasonable whole grain choice, but eaten without protein, they can still cause a more significant blood sugar response than a protein-paired version. Stirring yogurt or protein powder into oatmeal converts a moderate blood sugar meal into a more stable one. Sweetened drinks deserve particular attention in this context because they are often consumed alongside breakfast without being registered as part of it. Juices, flavored coffee drinks, sweetened creamers, and energy drinks can deliver substantial amounts of sugar directly into the bloodstream in liquid form, which is absorbed even faster than sugar from solid food. These beverages can cause blood sugar spikes significant enough to trigger the crash cycle on their own, independent of whatever solid food accompanies them. Beyond breakfast, other morning factors that matter. The food choices made at breakfast are the most direct lever for managing morning blood sugar, but two other morning variables also play a meaningful role. Physical activity after meals has a well-documented effect on blood sugar. Huel recommends walking for 10 to 15 minutes after eating as a practical and accessible way to lower post-meal blood sugar. Light to moderate movement causes muscles to take up glucose from the bloodstream without requiring insulin, which blunts the blood sugar rise that follows a meal and reduces the magnitude of the subsequent drop. Sleep quality and duration affect blood sugar regulation in ways that are less commonly understood. Poor sleep increases insulin resistance, meaning the body requires more insulin to clear the same amount of glucose from the bloodstream. This makes blood sugar responses to breakfast larger and more volatile on days following poor sleep, which adds another dimension to the morning blood sugar picture beyond food choices alone. Caffeine sensitivity is a variable that affects some people, but not others. For individuals who are sensitive to caffeine, even unsweetened coffee can trigger a blood sugar response through its effect on stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which signal the liver to release stored glucose. People who notice that their energy or focus feels unstable after their morning coffee, even without added sugar, may be experiencing this effect. The overall framework that emerges from this guidance is straightforward. Replacing a high-sugar, low-protein morning meal with one that balances protein, fiber, and healthy fat, limiting sweetened beverages, adding a short walk after eating, and prioritizing sleep quality collectively address the main drivers of morning blood sugar instability. None of these changes requires dramatic dietary overhaul. They are targeted adjustments to existing habits that produce measurable differences in how you feel, focus, and function through the hours that